crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs, and I am so excited today to bring to you another amazing product from Lisa Horton Crafts, and this is her new color shift line of inks, and this is just the first set, and she will be adding on more later on. I wanted to go over the colors with you today. We can do some ink swatching. I want to show you a little bit of what this product can do. So this is just a jumping off point. I just wanted to go over this new product with you because it is amazing. With the color shift, it's similar to the interference inks if you are familiar with those. But the base of the ink is like a matte chalk finish, think kind of oxides, pigment, kind of that, as opposed to being more like a dye ink. On the interference, you get much more of a coverage with the color shift, and it also is very smooth. It's blendable. You can also do all of the tricks with these that you would with the interference. So when I was trying to figure out, what are the properties of this, how can I explain how this is, and basically, if the matte inks, like this one, this is the Arctic Frost, so this is what that looks like. It is very smooth, even coverage, looks gorgeous, easy to blend, all of that. So if the matte inks had a baby with interference inks, then you would get these color shift. So you get those qualities from both the different types. Like this is the sapphire gold of the interference. So you get a very concentrated shimmer in the middle. When you put this on black, you get whatever is on this side, and when you put it on white, you get whatever is on this side of the cover. So the color shift are similar to that. They will be a different color on black card and white card. If you're not familiar with Lisa Horton Crafts, trying to explain what this would be like in the comparable to the distress line. So it would be kind of like if a distress oxide pad had a baby with the distress spritz. So it's just that shimmer mixed in with that pigment chalk kind of an ink pad. So for example, this is the Distress Oxide. This is Villainous Potion. But you can see it's very smooth, great blending, and then the shine of the Spritz. So if you mix those kind of things together, this is the type of product that would be. So I'm just trying to equate that to another product line that you guys might be familiar with. So just a quick, if you've never even seen what interference inks are, these are the color swatches for the interference inks. So basically you have one color on white and then you have another color on dark cardstock, which is really cool because then you can do different techniques. So you could stamp in black first and then stamp again over it. Get all kinds of different effects, and I do have a lot of videos with the interference inks as well as the swatching videos for these, so if you want to check that out, I will link that for you. These are the interference inks that are the limited edition holiday. This is the limited edition metallic inks. Those are not the interference inks, but all of Lisa's products look amazing on black cardstock. But with the interference, you get the color change, but you also get, it's a high concentrated shimmer and shine on that. Whereas with the color shift, it's much more subtle, because it's, you know, within that different kind of chalk type ink. You get a much more, you know, just soft and nice, and, you know, very subtle with that. And these are the regular metallics that she came out with. So if you don't have any Lisa Horton Crafts inks, I would highly recommend it. So lots of options, but the interference is just amazing, and so this is a great jumping off point with this. What we can do is first we can ink swatch out and see what they look like. Then we can kind of play a little bit. I was doing a little bit earlier just to get my feet wet on these. I don't have brushes for these, because these are more of a blending ink. I probably will get brushes for them, but right now I just have these Daubers, and I keep them in a little scrapbook.com box and label them. You do want to have separate, you don't want to mix this in with like your dye brushes or whatever you use to put on ink, or even the pigment, if you have separate pigment brushes, because is the mica or shimmer or whatever they use to put in this, you don't want to mix that in with your regular stuff. So I would recommend a separate application tool. Like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Alright, so this is Watermelon Spritz, and so basically this side is what it would look like on the white, and then this side is what it would look like on the dark. And you can see, yeah, it's a very vibrant color, but it's also, this is the matte, it's also more matte looking, and I'll show you what the, this is the interference ink. So that has you can see the shine right in there. So it does look a little bit different. So I'm just going to grab my little dauber here and get some on there. And it's very creamy, very, you know, that chalky, pigmented kind of ink. So, and I was watching quite a few of the Lisa Horton Crafts videos about these, and the real magic is once it starts to dry. So we need to kind of let that sit a little bit. But alright, next we will go with Fruit Punch. This one looks fun with the pink and the yellow. The one thing about these, because they're in that different kind of ink base, they do stay wet a little bit longer too. Whereas like if I would do the swatching for the interference inks, they would be drying out as soon as I was putting them down. So that you couldn't really do like ink blending with them. And the cool thing about these is that you can layer them, you can ink blend, you can mix them into each other. So that is pretty awesome. This is the Coral Waters. I already kind of got myself off on the wrong spot with my swatching there, but you get the idea. Alright, this one is Peanut Glow, so you have kind of a tan with yellow. Ooh, look at that. see we have the Avocado Gold. That's really cool. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh, that is very avocado-y. Like, is that a word? Avocado-y. Let's see. This one's Summer Sky. It's green to blue. Oh, wow. Look at that. Then we have Under the Sea. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Let's see what this looks like. Wow, that is a beautiful blue. When I was playing earlier, I love this one, the Golden Heather. Purple with the yellow. Look at that. Like, oh, I love it. Such a good color. Oh, wow. Oh, just gorgeous. Alright, next is Lilac Meadow. It's kind of a purpley into green. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, wow. And then finally we have Lagoon Punch. So it's kind of a grayish to pinky. Ooh, it's actually very lagoony. The front of this is a little, doesn't, well, maybe I quite capture the greenish in it, but okay. So there we have our swatches. And you can see where it's almost dry on the top that you're getting that the color shift and the shade difference. And look at that shine. See what I'm saying? Like on the white there, like this one, the Fruit Punch. You're just getting that. It's just a soft shimmer. My cat is snoring again. It's a running theme on most of my videos. My kitty sleeps on the bed while I film and has a very loud snore. So if you hear it, that's what it is. I'm just going to give this a quick dry so that we can take a peek at it. Alright, so now you can see that shine come out, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And it's more of an all-over shine. Whereas with the, let me just grab the interference, like, it's very like metallic looking, and this is, you know, all of the, you know, throughout the ink swatch, it is carrying that shimmer. And it's very just soft and nice looking. So that is that. Yeah, and like you can see for the interference, like on the white, the shine is kind of like in the middle, sort of. Whereas on this one, the shine carries throughout the whole ink swatch. So that's pretty awesome. I wanted to, this was just like a quick one I did with the watermelon spritz. And again, you see how matte it is, right? And then hopefully I can capture it. Perhaps. Oh, there we go. So you can just see that shimmer in there, which is very lovely. Whereas this one, with the interference, it's kind of more, a little bit more blobby. So this is just really smooth with the shimmer on that. So I just want to show you that. I was playing earlier and I had this, the new Lisa Horton Butterfly Silhouettes. So with this one, you have layered, it's for BetterPress, or foiling, and then you can just, there's different layers, so you can do the outline in whatever color you want, and then fill it in with the flat plate, same with the side facing one. So when I first did it, this was the Lagoon Punch. So it's this one. And you can see on the black, there is that that pinky shine, but it's a little difficult to see the difference between the two tones because they're kind of similar, but you can see a little bit of the pink on the edges there. And then this one was the Watermelon Spritz. Let me just get the cover of that one. And that one, unfortunately, the color isn't too different to like really notice the difference on the black, but if you were here in person, you can see that there is a purplish tinge to the black on there. But anyway, so these are great to use for this BetterPress. And then this one I was playing, this one you can tell a little bit more. Like look at that shine on that. So that was the Fruit Punch. And so that was the pink to the yellow. And you can definitely see on the black that there's the yellow there. And then this one, the Golden Heather. So it's the purple to the yellow. So if you just look at it straight on, it just, looks purple. It looks gorgeous. And then look at, so it has that yellow shine on there on the black because we stamped over the black with this, with the color shift. So I thought that looks so beautiful. Let's see, where to next? We can do a couple examples. I can show you how to do these, and then we can do a little bit of stenciling. And the biggest thing with these is that you can do the blending. So a little bit of stenciling might be in order. All right, let me clean this up and I'll be right back. All right, so this is the Spellbinder's BetterPress, and this is a one that it's called a registration press plate. And like I said before, this is from Lisa Horton, and it's the Butterfly Silhouettes. It has a lot of really good stuff in here. We have the dies. There's a love plate, and then you have these you can do all at once and then cut out all at once, and then there's like with lots of sending your way and best wishes, so you can combine those to do the sentiment. So when you have what's called a registration one, that means that you can do a multi-layered, multi-step. So in this case, I'm trying to find, it comes with this it's a Mylar sheet that comes with, it's like color coded where to put each piece. So what you would do is you put this on your BetterPress and you tape it on, and then you put on the plates where they belong, and you do the pressing, and then you can do the second layer. What I like to do, and this is just a tip that I came up with, is that I actually like to make a photocopy of this. And what I do with that is I use that instead. And the reason why I do that is because this Mylar can be kind of slippery. So if you're trying to ink up, if you're trying to clean up ink, you can, especially with smaller plates, you can actually kind of knock them off of where the outline is, because this is really slippery. So by using the paper, it's less likely the plates are less likely to shift. So it makes it a lot easier. It also helps because this is non-porous. So if you get ink on this, you have a high chance of transferring that onto your project, because it's just sitting there on top of that. Or if you go to wipe it off, then you might knock one of these and then knock it off of its spot, and then it's so I like to do it this way, because then too, if you get ink on this, it's just going to absorb onto the paper. It's not going to go back onto your project. So that is a tip that I have. I did just come out with a video that was my 3 favorite BetterPress hacks. Oops, just dropped the lid. And so I will link that over so you can see it, but I've got a lot of hacks and tips that I've come up with over the past couple years that the BetterPress has been out that really will help you. I'm gonna show you a couple of them today, and I do have a couple of bonus hacks on that video, so you'll have to go check it out. But anyway, so you get that on there. Let me find my lid. Oh, alright, excuse my head. So another tip that I like to do is I use temporary adhesive to put my paper on here, because a lot of times when you're doing a BetterPress, you want to do it edge to edge, but if you have the little tiny pieces of tape holding your paper on, then you're going to press into the tape and you're going to get ink all over the tape, and it's kind of a mess. So another hack that I have is I just use temporary adhesive. So what you do is you place your piece wherever you want to place it, and then you just put a little temporary adhesive on there, leave it there. Only use one side of this plate for that, because you don't want the stick to get into your die cut machine. So I only use this one side, and you don't have to put on the adhesive every time. This is still a little sticky from using it prior. So I click that in, and I push down, and so now we have our paper stuck on here, right? No mess. all is well. Alright, so this is, and the other beauty of doing the paper is that when you're done, you can just peel it up and throw this away, and then you don't have ink all over your platform. So, alright, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the detail layer. And so you just line up the edges of this with the outline on here. Okay, so once that's set, you can use, whatever ink you want. I'm going to use this solid black Lisa Horton Crafts Cloud 9, and this is a dye-based ink. And you can use really whatever ink you want, whatever paper you want. Some work better than others, and depending on what you're going for, like if you use the BetterPress ink or archival ink, that will be waterproof. So that's you got to think about what you're doing in your project. But for the most part, any dye ink, pigment ink, metallic ink, any ink. Alright, I'm just going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay, look how gorgeous that is. I just love this. Let's see. I'm going to find my magnet. Oh, it's stuck to my other magnet. Alright, so when you just use a magnet to clean these up, to pick them up, makes it a lot easier. And you don't hurt your fingernails or any of that stuff. Since this is just a dye ink, I can just wash this off with my stamp chamois with water. Depending on what ink you use, you would want to use whatever kind of cleaner that goes with what you use. So if you used archival, use archival cleaner. You can use water, stamp cleaner, just whatever you use, make sure you match that up with your cleaner. Alright, so I'm just putting the second layer on. And matching that up with the outline. Okay, so let's see. On the bottom one, I think I'm going to use Coral Waters, and on the top one, I'm going to use Summer Sky. Okay. So you're going to put the lid back on again. Just make sure you have it in the same direction as when you took it off, so everything will line up. So I'm just going to run this through. Wow, look at that. This is a great set. Alright, so I'm just going to let that dry for a sec and clean this up. Alright, so now that this has dried a bit, I'm going to see if I can see if you can help you see this, but I'm not sure. In real life, you would be amazed with what's going on here. If you look at the top one, so that was the one that we did with the Summer Sky. So that was the green to the blue. So you can see a blue shimmer. Look at that coming out, and it gives it this really cool effect on that butterfly. It's a color shift as it changes. Look at that. And then in the bottom we have the Coral Waters, which is that coral to the blue. And look, you can see the blue sheen there. So again, very soft, not, you know, anything in your face, just a nice add-on shimmer. I really love this one because you can, if you just tilt it a little bit, it turns a little blue-green and in the wings and everything. So, all right, I thought that we would, I embossed this. This one is the Floral Frenzy, and it has the embossing folder and the stencils. And this is what the embossing folder looks like. So I thought maybe we could do a little bit of stenciling. I probably will speed parts of it up, so it's, you know, it's just basic stenciling, but I wanted to get you, show you an idea of what this would actually look like if you're trying to blend and all that. One thing to keep in mind is that you can do exactly the same techniques that you would do with the interference inks, right? So we are able to put black ink. I'm gonna grab my black brush. We were able to put down black ink, and then when we stencil on top of it, it's going to shift. So these flower insides, so if we wanted to have, let's see, what color would we want? Either, I think the golden heather. Okay, so you can take the black and you can add a lot or a little. I'm just gonna grab out the map that I like to call it, so I can see, kind of envision my finished flowers, if you will. Okay, so we have that done. So if you're gonna do it with the black first, always make sure to wipe up, because you don't want to get black ink in any of these. So you just take a paper towel, microfiber cloth, whatever you like. So what I want to do, so what did we say? The golden heather for that. All right. And then let's see, maybe, I think this one. So this will just be on the white. These blend so beautifully. They're very creamy, very easy. All right, let's see. And then maybe this one down here too. Okay. So let's see. So if you had brushes, this would make this a lot easier. But I am going to do a little bit of shading on here. Okay. So let's see. I think I'm going to try the fruit punch. And I'm just going to put it on the edge here. Evidently my pup is saying hello. Yappy, it's okay. The birds are chirping outside and he is not pleased. Alright, so because we're ink blending, basically, it's making a new color. And also the shimmer properties in here are mixing together too. So it's ending up with a little bit of a golden effect on top of that purple. So that is very cool. With the interference inks, they dry very quickly, so it's difficult to blend them, and you just kind of get two splotches next to each other. Let's see, go with the coral waters, do this big one here. Let's see. So many choices. I think I'll go with the Under the Sea. I think we got all the spots. Just trying to pick up a little bit of the ink before I pull this off. And this will stay wet longer, so just keep that in mind. So check that out. So these will dry, and you can already see in the purple the shimmer. I'll go to the top one. Right? So I'm gonna go through and do the rest of these layers, and I'll speed it up and maybe put on some tunes, and then we can show at the very end. All right, we are done with the stenciling, and it's still a little wet, so it's not, all the shine isn't quite coming out yet, but just look at that. I mean, there's so many possibilities with using these inks, and then, you know, you can, you know, use the black ink to be able to get the color to shift, and the shimmer is just, it's so subtle and beautiful that you could really add this to any project. So, oh, look at that. Look at that shift. Look at that color shift. Just like the name says. So that is really, really cool. Okay, so just want to wrap up. I will list everything I used today in the description box. I do have affiliate links. These are available overseas quite a bit right now, and they're just starting to come into the United States, so I will link what I can for you to be able to find them, and then I will also update as more stores start having them in their inventory. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, we did so much today. We have this whole stenciled piece. We have all of our beautiful butterflies. We went over how to use them. We did our ink swatching. So lots of good stuff. So I hope that this explains how the new color shift inks work and how they are different from the interference inks or the matte inks from Lisa Horton Crafts. Yeah, come join me over on Facebook. I post cards, videos, and any crafty sales I come across. I have a new blog, so come see me over there, and I am on Pinterest now as well. And if you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you hit that button and be part of my crafty community. So I thank you very much for your support. All right, until next time, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye. Here are a couple more videos I thought you might like. Thanks so much for watching.